Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to iTouch Reviewers. In this video, I wanted to do a comprehensive overview of the iPhone SE 2020 edition. So at first glance, this looks like the cheapest iPhone in existence, and that's pretty much true. This packs quite a punch for the sub $400 price range. Now, of course, with tax and everything, it's gonna go up a bit, but let's talk about who this phone is for and if you should upgrade for yourself. So of course, Apple has gone ahead and made a really nice looking website here for it. They put a lot of time and effort into these pages for each of their products. As you can see here, this one, pre-orders began at 5 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on 4/17, which is tomorrow. So that would be Friday at 8 a.m. if you're Eastern Time. Here's kind of what it looks like. It looks exactly like the iPhone 8. If you have an iPhone 8 case and you want to upgrade to this, it should fit no problem. Same with screen protectors, as far as I know. There is really no difference besides the glass backing. Well, I guess that's just different with the iPhone 7. So yeah, it's very similar to the iPhone 8. 4.7-inch screen, so if you're a fan of that smaller form factor, here you go. It's got the exact same A13 chip as the iPhone 11 Pro, which is a great chip, by the way. I've been using that in my iPhone 11 Pro since launch, and it has been great. I've had literally no hiccups, no stuttering of anything. It is so fast. It's got portrait mode on this iPhone as well, which is fantastic. That is one thing I actually hear a lot of people complain about, is that they don't have portrait mode on their older phone. Now you can get it for literally less than $400, which is great. These are just some examples. It's got smart HDR, 4K video, of course. I mean, this thing is really a bunch of premium aspects all put into a small form factor, which they were able to cut the costs on because it's been reused. So this is the same form factor as the iPhone 8. So they were able to reuse all their molds, all the manufacturing processes that they do to make a new phone. They're able to reuse it all. So that's how they're able to keep the cost so low. Now, of course, this has Touch ID. I know plenty of people hate Face ID because they're scared of it for whatever reason. So hey, if you want to go old school, they're giving you Touch ID. It's splash resistant, but don't go dunking this thing underwater. That's a bad idea. So yeah, let's take a look real quick at the pricing. So like I said, it starts at $399, but I actually don't recommend that option. So let's say, no, we don't have a phone to trade in. Pick your favorite color. Doesn't matter. They're all the same. Reason being, if you go with 64, sure, it's $50 less, but to double that storage for only $50, hard to argue with that. SIM free, activate with any carrier later. That's what I usually choose. And then I don't go with Apple Care, but if you do, you can get Apple Care Plus for only $79. It's a great deal if you're prone to dropping or breaking your phone. So $450 and you're out the door with a brand new iPhone. Now, of course, it looks old. It's got the ugly bezels. It's got kind of like that old form factor. But if you really think about it, it's got all of the internals that you like from the newer phones, minus the U1 chip. So that's one thing that is lacking, but it's got Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.0. It's got all of the stuff that really does matter. I'm going to switch it up just a bit here to the iPhone 11. Yeah, so I think these are what a lot of people are going to be cross-buying. So a lot of you guys are going to be cross-referencing these different models. Now, the first thing that you really need to think about with these is, do you want a bigger screen or not? Because none of these come with the OLED screen. They all come with the LCD screen, which, by the way, is fantastic. But you do have to weigh that. Do you want a big screen, or are you a small phone kind of person? If you want a small screen, hey, here you go, iPhone SE 2nd Gen. 10R and the 11 are both the same size. Obviously, you can see one has two cameras, one only has one, but the screen sizes are the same. 4.7 or 6.1. They're all glass and aluminum. Single shooters on the 10R and the SE2. However, the iPhone 11 has a better camera system. So if you're all about the camera, you're going to want to go with that one. But again, that one's $699. FaceTime camera is all the same except for the 11. It's more improved. Touch ID is the only one you can get on the SE 2nd Gen. So think about that. The 10R has the older chip in it, which may or may not matter to you guys. Battery here, this is going to be an interesting one because if you want the best battery life, you have to go with the 11. It has much better battery life. The SE2 is going to have pretty decent battery life, but it's only 1800 milliamp hours. So the only saving grace is that it has the A13, which is slightly more power efficient. It should suck a little bit less power than, say, like an iPhone 8. If you care about battery, you're going to have to go with something bigger and better like the iPhone 11. But I don't think this one's going to be a big issue because the type of people that actually want this SE2 typically are not power users. So you might be just fine with this. Again, here you go, 1 meter. This one's 2 meters of water resistance. I don't recommend doing this ever intentionally, but if you're around water a lot, go with the 11 so you get that extra protection. Here are the storage capacities. If you need the big boy 256, you're out of luck with the 10R. You'll have to upgrade to the 11 or the SE2. Now for the displays here, it is a slightly subpar display on the SE2, it's the Retina HD instead of the liquid Retina. But overall, as you guys can see here, the contrast ratio and everything is the same. So it really should look almost identical. The reason they call it liquid Retina, I think, is because they bend the display a little bit on the sides, but you would never even know that. So for all intents and purposes, they're going to look pretty much the same, but this one's going to be smaller. You can see the height and the width, depth, and weight, if that matters to you. Like I said, don't be putting any of these underwater, but if you're near water a lot and you might accidentally drop it, get the iPhone 11 chips. We already went over that. So the 10R here is pretty outdated. I wouldn't really recommend that. If you're shopping for a 10R, just get the 11. But if you're stuck between the SE and the 10R, well, I guess you're going to have to think about if you want the bigger screen. So as you can see here, the cameras are much better on the 11. And honestly, in real world usage, the cameras are just worth the upgrade on the 11 if you take a lot of photos. I'm just going to end it right there. I do think the cameras on the SE 2nd gen are going to be pretty decent. The 10R was no slouch, but again, it's a little bit out of date just because it's so old. Video recording, if you care about that, here's all the specs. I'm not going to read through all those. And then the front camera as well. Pretty basic on the SE2, but the only real jump here is the 12 megapixel photos that you'll get on the 11, which I've already been over a million times now. It's the better camera. So you guys can see, at least this one's got portrait mode on the new SE because a lot of people would like to have that. Now it does not have Animoji and Memoji on the SE2. I swear I heard someone else say it does. They must be lying because clearly it's not listed here. That is a quick overview. Like I said, here are the colors again. I'll show you guys up close in case you are wondering. You got the white, which is actually slightly different. It's more bright white than the iPhone 8. The black seems to be a little bit richer and deeper of a black. And then product red is product red. So those are kind of your options for this one. And again, for $449, it is super hard to beat this if you want that old form factor with Touch ID, no Face ID, and you don't mind having the smaller display. This is the phone to get. The people I can imagine getting this are older people that don't want to upgrade to Face ID for whatever reason, people that maybe don't have a budget for a $600+ phone, or just young teenagers that are looking to dip into the iPhone ecosystem, the iOS ecosystem, and have an iPhone because a lot of people are using them as status symbols these days. So you do you, but if you want to get in on it cheap, here's your option. Now, something pretty interesting to point out to you guys is that you can actually get now this iPhone plus AirPods plus an Apple Watch all for under $750, which is really crazy to think about because I spent $1,200 on my 11 Pro, 256 gig, and you can get all that for just $750 or less. So yeah, you are not going to be the flashiest kid at school rocking this phone, but if you want something practical, here's your option. So that's all I got for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please hit it with a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.